Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into a serious topic, the chilling possibility of another world war. The world ending in a fiery mushroom cloud-laden apocalypse does seem a bit far-fetched, but the truth is, there are some rather concerning signs out there, signs that things are tense, globally speaking. So buckle up, dear viewers, as we unpack the 10 alarming signs that another world war may be on the horizon. Let's be honest, the relationship between powerful countries has always been a bit fragile. But lately, things have gotten particularly frosty. We're talking Cold War-esque levels of suspicion and hostility. It seems like every other day there's a new diplomatic spat, a border dispute, or some aggressive military exercises. The problem is, in this game, swerving might mean looking weak. And in the world of international relations, weakness is not a good look. So the tensions simmer, the rhetoric heats up, and the world watches with bated breath, hoping someone remembers to turn off the stove before things boil over. Welcome to the world of global military spending. It's spiraling, folks. Countries are pouring money into their militaries like they're trying to win a who has the shiniest weapons contest. One country increases its military spending, so its neighbors feel threatened and do the same. And on it goes, until everyone's armed to the teeth, looking at each other with suspicion. It's like a global game of duck, duck, goose, but instead of a gentle tap on the head, you get a missile strike. Fun times. Now I'm all for national pride, but there's a fine line between healthy patriotism and full-blown, we're number one, everyone else is suspect nationalism, and unfortunately it seems like more and more countries are tiptoeing across that line, if not outright sprinting across it with reckless abandon. Nationalism, when weaponized, becomes a dangerous tool. It's about division, about us versus them, about closing ranks and viewing anyone outside your borders with suspicion, if not outright hostility. And in an interconnected world facing shared challenges, that kind of inward-looking, exclusionary thinking is about as helpful as a screen door on a submarine. It breeds distrust, fosters resentment, and makes cooperation and diplomacy feel like quaint relics of a bygone era. And that, my friends, is a recipe for disaster. Forget tanks and trenches, the battlefields of the future are digital. Cyber warfare is the new front line, and it's already happening. Countries are hacking each other's systems, stealing secrets, disrupting infrastructure, and spreading misinformation like it's going out of style. It's the espionage of the 21st century, and it's terrifyingly effective. The problem with cyber warfare is that it's insidious, often invisible to the naked eye. It's fought in the shadows, with lines of code and keyboard strokes, not bullets and bombs. But the consequences are real. Imagine a country's power grid going down, its financial systems collapsing, its communication networks going dark, all at the push of a button, miles away. The world is witnessing a resurgence of military alliances, with countries scrambling to bolster their defenses and forge strategic partnerships. On the surface, there's nothing inherently wrong with countries teaming up. After all, there's strength in numbers, right? But these alliances can also be incredibly destabilizing. When drawn along ideological lines or fueled by mutual suspicion, they create a world neatly divided into camps, each eyeing the other with distrust. It's like watching a global game of capture the flag, except the flag is peace and stability, and everyone's armed with enough firepower to turn the planet into a smoldering crater. Economic instability is a breeding ground for conflict. When people are struggling to put food on the table and keep a roof over their heads, they get desperate. And desperate people do desperate things. Add to that the rise of protectionist policies and trade wars, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Countries turn inward, looking out for their own interests, often at the expense of others. Cooperation and diplomacy take a back seat to self-preservation, and the global order begins to unravel. It's like watching a game of Jenga, but instead of wooden blocks, it's the global economy, and everyone's pulling out pieces with reckless abandon. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, shall we? Or perhaps the mushroom cloud-shaped elephant in the room. Nuclear weapons. Those terrifying instruments of destruction that have the power to wipe out entire cities in the blink of an eye. For decades, the world lived under the terrifying shadow of nuclear annihilation during the Cold War. But in recent years, that shadow has grown longer, darker, and far more ominous. More countries are developing nuclear weapons, and existing nuclear powers are modernizing their arsenals. It's like everyone's decided to bring a gun to a knife fight, except the gun can vaporize entire countries. Climate change is more than just an environmental issue, it's a threat multiplier. It exacerbates existing tensions, creates new ones, and sets the stage for conflict. Think about it, as resources become scarcer, water, food, arable land, countries will inevitably clash over what's left. Mass migrations caused by climate displacement will further strain relations and ignite social unrest. And all of this plays out against a backdrop of rising temperatures, extreme weather events, and a growing sense of desperation. Climate change is like that annoying friend who shows up to a party, starts drama, and then leaves everyone else to clean up the mess. Authoritarianism. It's like that bad relationship you keep going back to, even though you know it's never going to end well. We're witnessing a disturbing trend of authoritarianism on the rise around the world. Leaders who are more interested in maintaining their grip on power than upholding democratic values or international norms. And that's a problem, because authoritarian regimes tend to be more aggressive, more nationalistic, and more likely to engage in risky behavior on the world stage. It's like having a bull in a china shop, except the bull has nuclear weapons and a fragile ego. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of conflicts raging around the world today. From simmering border disputes to full-blown civil wars, the list seems endless. History has taught us that regional conflicts can quickly escalate and draw in other nations, turning a localized crisis into a global conflagration. And with the added fuel of geopolitical tensions, economic instability, and the ever-present threat of nuclear war, the stakes have never been higher. Look, I'm not saying that World War III is inevitable, but these signs are a stark reminder that we're living in a volatile and uncertain world, a world where the consequences of inaction could be catastrophic. We can't afford to be complacent. We need to demand better from our leaders, prioritize diplomacy and cooperation, and work together to address the root causes of conflict. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's work together to ensure that the future, unlike this episode, doesn't resemble a bleak dystopian thriller. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content.